have found in our intensive studies that the student body in many colleges has begun to show an alarming divide. Tensions run high when a student from one side of the schism learns that a friend is on the other side. It sometimes gets to the point where they will stop visiting each other for dinner. Indeed, the microwaves and the ramens rarely see eye to eye. The Ramans pride themselves on knowing how to use the stove. They often extol the many varied ways that ramen can be prepared with ingredients from a fried egg to chopped raw chives to homemade vegetable-based broth, or how if they're in a hurry, they can just throw it together in a basic or an original ramen. A couple students gushed over how ramen can be an on-the-go snack if you don't bother to cook it. These students seem to be in the minority. When referring to the microwaves and their food practices, the Ramans used phrases like nuking it and rubber food. When referring to themselves, they used phrases like complete meal and simple variety. The microwaves pride themselves on speed and a great diversity in their food. They tend to talk about the necessity of a balanced diet and shout at us that they are going to be late before heating a potato for 2 minutes and rushing out the door, tossing said potato from one hand to the other. They point out the handiness of being able to prepare something earlier and then reheat it when it's needed. When referring to the Ramans and their food practices, the microwaves use phrases like MSG packed and sodium poisoning. When referring to themselves, they use phrases like gotta run and nuking it. There are others, those who lie outside the schism. First semester freshmen spoke to us about the meal plan. They lacked enthusiasm and their eyes remained dark and dead. Luckily, by their second semester, most had found their way to their dorm kitchen. By sophomore year, they have chosen a side. It should be noted that certain rich Greek life officers with spray-on tans showed disdain for both sides of this split, explaining to us that they themselves only ever ate at restaurants with at least 3 stars. They can be safely ignored as outliers because nobody likes them. Interestingly, roommates who are ramens and microwaves tend to get along surprisingly well. Several case studies have led us to believe that this is because they do not usually get in each other's way while using the kitchen, as long as they can refrain from commenting on each other's food, that is. In conclusion, we believe that despite this split in student bodies across the country, there may yet be hope. While this division seems to be growing ever wider, individual students have managed to look past this difference, and perhaps from there we can learn to work together even if eating together is out of the question. We are happy to announce that none of our findings suggest that this schism will go the way of the wars of tea and coffee, thank the grades.